Hello, Zimbabwe. Welcome to Livetalk. We're coming to you live from Studio 7 at the Voice of America in Washington. I'm your host, Gibbs Dube. Today, we are talking about the power of Zimbabweans living in the diaspora in bringing political change back home. But first, news from elsewhere. In Malawi, 35,000 backstreet abortions were carried out in 2020 and 2022 and 2023, according to its Ministry of Health. These unsafe procedures are just one reason support for abortion rights has increased in recent years. Chimwemwe Padata has more from Lilongwe.
It has been 3 years since Malawi's parliament rejected a motion to even debate liberalizing abortion law. The existing law, which allows abortions only if the life and health of the mother is at risk, has resulted in thousands of women like Harim Shaibu experiencing complications from backstreet abortions.
A mixture of herbs together with soap was inserted in my vagina. A few hours later, I started bleeding, and that is how I lost my pregnancy.
Malawi Ministry of Health admits statistics indicate that between 2022 and 2023, 35,000 unsafe abortions were carried out, leading women to seek post-abortion care in government health facilities.
We hear reports that people are inducing abortions on themselves, which tend to have a lot of complications. In addition to anemia, they also have, let's say, ruptured uteruses. In addition to that, they also have sepsis, whereby they tend to develop infection in the uterus or the entire reproductive system.
Women's rights advocates are continuing to push for abortion law reform that would expand the right to terminate a pregnancy. A bill would allow abortion if there is a possibility of harm to the mental or physical health of the woman and in cases of incest, rape, or sexual assault. Dr. Matthew Zingwane, the chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee on Health, says the current law is putting lives at risk.
Our concern is the deaths that are happening among us women in this country. And women are dying. They are dying when actually our hospitals can save their lives. Now, the point is, should we just let our women die when actually we can do something?
When the bill was originally announced in 2016, religious groups held mass demonstrations in protest and remained staunchly opposed to any liberalization of abortion laws.
For the side of the faith leaders, there was still a lot of resistance. So that's why we treated and started resistance and journalism. As I'm talking now, we are still doing this advocacy, this campaign.
Proponents of the bill are conducting door-to-door education in remote areas on the dangers of unsafe abortions as they push for Parliament to take up debate. Chimwemwe Padata, VOA News, Lilongwe, Malawi.
In Zimbabwe, the tobacco season opened in Harare today, with small-scale farmers expressing concern over company's payment system, in which they will receive at least 25% of their earnings in Zimbabwe dollars and the remainder in United States dollars. They want to be paid only in United States dollars, saying the Zimbabwe dollar does no longer have any value for buying food for anything. Officially launching this year's selling season in Harare today, Vice President Kozatino Chiwenga said Zimbabwe is expected to become a $5 billion tobacco industry by 2025, despite fears of a devastating drought feared by the El Nino weather phenomenon.
We go to the other sector, the mines and minerals. But agriculture with tobacco currently in the health plays a major role in our export earnings. This realization led to the launch of the Tobacco Value Chain Transformation Plan. The thrust of the transformation plan is to transform the tobacco value chain into a US 5 billion industry by next year, 2025. Yes, we've been affected by El Nino, which has been explained by both the chairman and the Honorable Minister of Land and Agriculture. But this phenomena is not new. We've had these experiences before, and we have come better each time.
That was Vice President Constantino Chiwenga speaking at the tobacco floors in Harare. Tobacco floors were pegged at a maximum of $44.92 a kilogram for the highest priced produce and less than $1.40 per kilogram for poor quality supplies. Some farmers are crying foul over the low tobacco prices, noting that they are also not happy with the pricing structure in which they will receive at least 25% of their earnings in Zimbabwe dollars. One of the disgruntled farmers is Macheke farmer Benedicte Chesimufani.
Gore rino igore rakaoma ngozi mvura haina kunaya machopa takapisa haana kushanda nekushaya mvura saka taakuexpecta kuti dai fodya yatengwawo zvakanaka 499 imari shoma takatarisana nesizivile taitaisirwawo ma56 ende mumunda hamuna chinhu chibage chakaoma kune nzara saka taatikuexpectawo kuti fodya ikatengwa zvakanaka nemapuraizi ari pamusoro tinodyawo tichibvuta togona kukusevhaita titengawo titorarama gore rese totenga futi mafertilizer kuti next year todzokera mumunda pama-rtgs hatiswada tatingoda 100% us kwete zvokuti tizoisirwe rtgs kozi rate yebhengi nemarete epatozoshandisira rtgs hazvipindirani tise takanyura toti takanyura mumunda nezuva tonyura futi kumusika zvinorwadza inini semudzimai basa rekurima fodya riri kuwandudza upenyu hwangu zvakanyanya because patakatanga kurima fodya totariswa kuti hatistorina kana chatinacho but izvozvi tiri kusimukawo tichitenga taane tumombewo twedu tumagejongoro vana vanotoendesa kuzvikoro upenyu hwatirerukei kandi patarisati takurima fodya but asi chichemo chedu ndechekungoti fodya inorwadza haisi nyore kushanda semunhukadzi saka tingokumbirawo kuti mapuraizi pamapuraizi kuwedzerawo mapuraizi.
That was Macheke farmer Benedicta Chasifana. Please stay tuned as we take a brief break.
In times of change, when the world seems uncertain and what we hear doesn't reflect what we see, we seek the truth. When we are told only part of the story, we lose trust. In moments of crisis, our dreams, hopes, and wishes for a better tomorrow depends on a free press. At Voice of America, we bring you the stories that people take risks to see. We connect the world and unite it with truth. At Voice of America, we show you the whole picture.
For those that have just joined us, please note that we are streaming live on our Facebook pages, VOA Shona, VOA Studio 7, and VOA Ndebele. We're also live on YouTube, VOA Zimbabwe. Back to our topic of the day. Zimbabweans living outside the country have a lot of influence on their relatives and friends back home, but indications are that there is almost nothing they can do to bring political change back home. Thousands of Zimbabweans live in South Africa, Britain, America, Australia, United Kingdom, and other nations. Some of them have been in opposition parties, including the Movement for Democratic Change, Citizens Coalition for Change, and others that appear doomed due to internal squabbles that have sucked in diasporans. ZANU-PF has been in power since 1980, and indications are that it is expected to rule until a formidable opposition surfaces, or the leadership is toppled in a military coup similar to what happened in 2017. Do Zimbabweans living in the diaspora have any power to bring political change in Zimbabwe? To discuss this issue in detail, we are joined right now by Freedom Alliance Secretary General, Mr. Nhlanhla Moses Ncube, who lives in South Africa. Welcome to the program, Mr. Ncube.
Thank you, Mr. Tube. How are you and the listeners?
No, very fine. We also have a political activist, that is Su Mobaya. Welcome to the show, Mobaya. How are you?
Thank you, Mr. Tube.
Yes, how's Michigan?
Michigan is getting warm.
Wonderful, wonderful. And then we have got Mr. Marombeza Itai, who is based in the United States. So let's start with you, Mr. Ncube. What's the power of Zimbabweans living in the diaspora in bringing political change back home?
Mr. Tube, I didn't get you clearly today. The line is not all that good yet.
So the question is, what's the power of Zimbabweans living in the diaspora in bringing political change back home? I hope it's now clear.
Oh, okay, yes. The bringing of political change in Zimbabwe by those in the diaspora is a bit of a pipe dream, because people have got into the world running away from the situation that is in Zimbabwe. But to some, it has been rewarding, such that a lot of people now will concentrate on whether they are able to have bread and butter issues as a family. Then they concentrate on that. Then the rest of the political arena will be left again to people that are in Zimbabwe, as it were.
So here we assume that they've got a leaky role in which they can play in changing what is happening home. Mr. Marobeza, welcome to the program, and what's your take on this issue?
Thank you. I would like to probably start by looking at the reasons why most of us and many others in the diaspora, the reasons why we are where we are here. I think it is mainly due to economic and political issues. So most of us, we are here because we are either political or economic refugees. And so that tells us or informs us on the reasons whether we at some point would want to be back home if there is a change or a positive development on those two fronts. But as the situation is on the ground, I think things are getting worse by the day, both economically and politically. And the regime in Harare continues to extend its stranglehold and contracting the democratic space for Zimbabweans. So that also means it becomes very difficult for us to even see in the near future any hope of us returning back home. But I know for a fact that the majority of people in the diaspora would prefer to be back home and use their different expertise, experiences, and professional experiences, for that matter, to enhance the well-being of our country and of our people.
Oh, thank you so much, and stay on the line. Ms. Mbaya, why would people living in the diaspora have to necessarily, try to influence their relatives and friends to change the government in power right now? Why can they do that? Do you think they've got any power? Ms. Mubaya, are you there?
Okay, sorry, that question is to me.
Yes, so it's straight for you. Why do you think some of these people want to fight against the sitting government? And do they have any power as diasporans to make any kind of political change back home?
As diasporans, we do not have power to bring that change. We left home and we don't pay taxes over there, so we cannot bring about any change. As far as I know, if you need to bring about change, you need to be on the ground, at home, vote, and then you can bring about change. But speaking for us in the diaspora, I'm going to look at this in a different way. I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother, I'm a sister and auntie to everyone. And what I would want to say is we can have a father in a house that is irresponsible, that does not fend for the family as they should. As a mother, are you going to wait for that? Are you going to let your children not go to school? Are you going to send your children without eating because the father is irresponsible? No. You have to do what you have to do as a mother. So that's the way I look at things. And I'm in the diaspora where I get a little bit more that I can use to benefit my people back home. And I think each one of us has a duty to take care of our families back home. Thank you.
So as far as you're concerned, the system is there and is not subject to change at the moment. That's what you're saying, right?
In a few days ago, we hear that the sanctions were removed, which means that our products are going to be on the market just like any other product of any other countries. I hope that's going to bring about the change that we've been looking for.
But apparently those sanctions are still there. It's only that they removed some people and some companies from the list, but the president and others are still on the list. So
As far as I read the documents, the sanctions were removed, although there were 3 people that were still sanctioned, including the president and Tagwire and whoever. But the sanctions that are hindering our economy were removed. So let us be positive and see how it's going to play out.
We hear you. We shall visit that discussion some other day. Mr. Ngube, back to you now and stay on the line, Ms. Mubaya. So, Mr. Ngube, the opposition is very fragmented. Yes, so I'm told Mr. Ngube actually dropped. So now go back to Mr. Murombezi. So, Mr. Murombezi, you heard what our sister here, Ms. Mubaya, is saying. Any quick reaction? And to add on to that, is there any political reality that can be brought to Zimbabwe by diasporians? If we have to be honest here, if we want to call a spade, can you change anything as you are right now?
Yes, I would like to correct my sister there. I think to suggest that us in the diaspora, we have no impact to cause any change back home politically. I think that is a bit far from the truth. Both historically and in the current situation, the liberation struggle succeeded because of external support from friends from across who supported those who were on the ground. Similarly, us, through the influence that we have, because we have roots back home, that's where most of our family members are, that interaction and encouragement contributes. And we can also talk of financial support. Morally, financially, that can also go a very long way to influence the activities and support the democratic movements back home. Then coming to the issue of the circumstances that are obtaining on the ground, yes, change will come. But people have to understand that this is a revolution that we are in. It is not a quick cup of coffee. Revolutions, by their nature, take time. They evolve. And yes, where we are, people would have wanted us to have accomplished that. But yesterday, But again, if you look back, fighting a dictatorship always takes twists and turns, and we have to remain vigilant because it will be a long struggle, just like the liberation struggle that we had. So I would want to encourage those of us who are in the diaspora to continue to support the initiatives that are being done by all the democratic forces back home. The opposition political parties, yes, there have been unfortunate developments that have happened, but we should take some of those developments as lessons that we can carry forward and still push to ensure that we democratize our country. We cannot afford in any way to throw away that which belongs to us. Zimbabwe is for us, and we are the ones who have the obligation to do everything that we can, whether we are in Zimbabwe or we are in the diaspora.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
That fight.
Thank you very much. And we've got Mr. Busani Nyati, who sent us a message on Facebook. He says, being in the diaspora does not mean we are not contributing. Not paying taxes does not take away our rights as citizens. I think he is making a direct response to Ms. Mubaya. So sibuyele kuba unhlanhla Ncube baba Ncube. So ukuba yini khonapho ediaspora sesibonile lizama lokhu lalokhu lizama ukuthi likhande ngapha kwehlule likhande ngalo kwehlule kumele lenzeni Ncube kwehlula la.
Into kumele ukuthi siyenze babudube yikuthi singaze saphilela ukuthi ngifuna ifamily umndeni wami kuphela. Ungananzelela through ama remittances imali abantu bayithumela ama families. Kodwa ekutheni ilizwe likhululeke kungathi kuyasilela kuyafuneka ukuthi abantu bakuzwisise ukuthi ama resources ayafuneka ukuthi khona umzabalazo uye phambili. Ungakhangela izani into yayenzayo yakunanzelela ukuthi abantu beku diaspora bazancedisa, so kuvalwa yonke indawo ukwenzela ukuthi kungancediseki amabandla aphikisa. Kodwa akakumelanga ukuthi bese sikuvumela khona kuyana. Kumele ukuthi vele sikubone ukuthi umuntu wenza umsebenzi owemuli yakhe enze lo msebenzi wesizwe okunjengokuthi kufakwe ama resources. Amabandla amaningi awakithi imali kawalayo, awala muntu owancedisayo. Kuza kuba yibona laba abakhona phambi ngabasekhaya bazama bangakuzama kwezinye isikhathi ukuthi kuya contestwa abenelisi ukuthi khona bafield ama candidates. So ke kuqhakathekile ukuthi uZulu ehlangene abone ukuthi khona i-struggle for democracy asiphonga ubuya mahara, kumele kube khona okufakwayo individuals zibe khona esitsheni.
Yes, let's turn to let's turn to Ms. Mubaya. Ms. Mubaya, in Shona, do you think that maybe these people in the diaspora are wasting time in trying to wrestle power from the current government? Neshona, Ms. Mubaya?
Ndinozwisisa zvavari kutaura vana bhudhi vangu ava kuti isusu tiri kunongu tinokwanisa kuva nerubetsero rwatingaite kupa kune vanhu vangakwanisa kuti vange vachindorwisa hurumende yedu iripo. Asi inini handibvumirani napo. Inini ndinoti inini hurumende yanga yakasungirwa zvinhu ende tinoramba. Haindizive kuti sei tichiramba kuti hurumende yanga yakasungirwa zvinhu. Tati isusu tadi kuti timboona kubva kubviswa kwaitwa masanctions kuti zvichazenge zvakamira sei. Isusu vari kudiaspora tinokwanisa kuti tirambe tichibetsera hama dzedu kumusha kuti dzinge dzichirarama nemaconditions. Maconditions atiri kupuhwaya nevamwe vanhu vari kwavari. Ndichida kungonoti a little bit nyeurirei pakuti manyika dzakakura sedzakaita sedzana America izvezvi ndiri kufunda class yeanthropology matiri kufundiswa isusu kuti ningirikini murimi akarima chibage chake chozopedzisira chamusupermarket chinopfuura nemastages akawanda. In the process mari ichiwanda, murimi anopuwa $1 asi pokupedzisira chibage chinonotengeswa $10. Tadi kuti tive nema-fair trading systems ekuti murimi abhadharwe semabhadharirwo end product kwekupedzisira kwechain. Dzinyika idzi dzinotibatirira, hatidi kubvuma. Takabatirirwa nedzinyika idzi. Handizive sei tisingade kupatarisa ipapo nekupabvuma. Ndo patinofanirwa kuti tirwise ipapo kuti tikwanise kupuwawo tienzaniswewo nevamwe ne the rest of the world, kuti kana uchinge wakabata goridhe rako ngaribhadharwe mubhadharwo chaiwo, kwete kuti vari pamusoro ndo vanonoita sei vanobhenefita kunyanya, asi muridzi wegold asinganyanyo bhenefita kunyanya. So ndiri kungoti inini zvangu deno taita sei tapfungwa pamwe chete, tati isusu kune hurumende yekumusha kwedu tadi takumbira some-systems akati to the rest of the world.
Let me take a caller. Thank you so much, Ms. Mubaya. Stay on the line. We've got a caller. I think that caller is from South Africa. Unjani mlaleli kuna ngapo lapha khona? Hello mlaleli kunjani?
Ngiyaphila njalo.
Ngiyaphila mfowethu, ngikhuluma lobani?
Khuluma noFara Sibanda kuMahlamvu.
Yebo, kunjani khona ngapho Pasekhulu?
Hayi lapha ngikhona ku right phela kanti.
Siyakuzwa kakhulu ke. Ubona njani khona ukuthi abantu abahlala eDiaspora bangaguqula ukwenzakala eZimbabwe ukuthi batshintshe ezombusazwe kuyenzakala khonokho? Kumbe lapho siyazixoxela nje.
Angizwa kahle baba noma inetwork.
So abantu abahlala phandle kwelizwe leZimbabwe balakho yini ukuthi benze kube lo mehluko kule Zimbabwe kwezombusazwe? Kumbe lapha nje sisengezimithiyo nje?
Ya kungenzeka kube nomehluko kuba abantu uma bengasuka bengasekhaya ukuziphilisa ngasekhaya.
Ifoni yakho yaqhumeka mana ngikwazi ukuthi kuhamba njani. Wothi sizakufonela futhi back khona ngapho. Uyiqhuma ifoni yakho sizakufonela baba iyaqhumeka nje. So thank you so much.
Okay.
So back to Mr. Marombedza. Your last word about the actual political change that you want in Zimbabwe. Just 30 seconds.
Zvatiri kutarisira kuti zvishanduke muZimbabwe matongerwe paite hurumende inosarudzwa nevanhu, kwete hurumende inopinda pachigaro nehutsotsi nekudzvinyirira vanhu. Tinoda kuti paite vatungamiri vane muono wekugadzirisa mamiriro ehupfumi hwenyika, kuti nyika yedu igokwanisa kuwana pundutso inoraramisa ruzhinji rweZimbabwe. Tine zvicherwa, tine natural resources akawandisa ekuti hatifanirwe kunge tiri kutaurwa kunzi isu tine the highest inflation in the world, nekuita the highest percentage of unemployment. Isu tine zvikwanisiro zviripo senyika zvinofanira kunge zvichitibatsira. Corruption yakakwirisa zvakanyanya, ndofunga nyaya dzamuri kunzwa. Hurumende ine makoronyera apinda mukati anopfachura mari dzavanoba kubva kune makambani ehurumende vachiita matenda anenge asina kumira zvakanaka. Saka tiri kuda kuti pagadziriswe, tiri kuda hurumende chaiyo yevanhu inozadzisa zvinhu zvevanhu kwete zvevashoma.
So we're going to go back to Ms. Mubaya and Mr. Ngube, but time is out, unfortunately. Thank you all and join us on Livetalk next time. That brings us to the end of the show. Signing off from Washington, D.C., I'm Tips Dube. Good night.